Capital Combat. Name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today we're going to be doing a video a little bit different. We're going to be bringing you this past Saturday's PBC Danny Garcia versus Garcia-Malignaggi recap. But because Rob and I are in separate locations, we're going to do two separate clips. So you'll have Rob's take and then my take. So we hope you enjoy this video, and we're going to show you Rob's take first.
This is Rob Jarrell here, and we just wanted to talk about the recap to the last fight with Garcia-Malignaggi versus Danny Garcia, and Danny Jacobs versus Sergio Mora. Starting with the Sergio Mora fight, these are my thoughts. Hakeem's going to work into the video because I had to go to a conference in Memphis, so I'm a little absent at the moment. But with Jacobs and Sergio Mora, we saw like what was going to be a great fight. I mean, they traded knockdowns off of what looked like counter punches. I thought Danny Jacobs would be the one to have more power, but Sergio Mora clipped him, and we don't really see great power from Sergio Mora, so that was surprising. So we knew with those angles that he brings that he was going to catch Danny Jacobs by surprise. And unfortunately, while Danny Jacobs he has a lot of heart, he has a lot of power, he's a great boxer, he doesn't really have that chin that other fighters have. So when he goes against fighters such as or if he does against Quillen or the Golovkins, who can punch with great power, he needs to be able to weather the storm or not get hit. But with that shot, I was really surprised, and I was like, hey, that's a way to start off a match. It's a way to start off the co-main event for PBC. And then the second round came, which was going to bring action. I believe Danny Jacobs had Mora in trouble, but Mora wasn't in any severe trouble along the ropes. But his knee or ankle, he said he heard it pop. Knee or ankle injury. It was really disappointing to see from Jacobs and Mora. So I wish Mora all the best. Danny Jacobs said he wouldn't give him a rematch because he knew it was from a punch and so forth and so on. I just thought that was kind of because of the fact that it was an injury. I think with a fight like that, you should give that man a rematch when he gets healthy and maybe has a tune-up fight versus, you know, a C-level fighter to get ready for you, because maybe he would have won, maybe he would have, he would have lost. We never know because the injury kind of robs us of that experience. Now moving on to the Malignaggi Danny Garcia fight, Swift came out and he even at the weigh-in, he just looked that much bigger than Garcia-Malignaggi. Now, Malignaggi, both of them moved up from 140, but you could tell Garcia is fully grown into that 147-pound division. And he's going to be trouble. He was walking Malignaggi down. He had Malignaggi fighting off his back foot. And Malignaggi, you could tell his defensive reflexes aren't what they used to be. And he showed some defensive prowess, but he was just didn't have the firepower or the activity that Garcia had. Garcia looked bigger, he looked stronger, he looked like he was quicker to the punch, establishing the jab, and he looks like he's working on not just landing the left hook, he was actually throwing the right hand. Sometimes you could tell he loaded up on it, but he was more automatic with it instead of just with his left hook, or he would follow that right with the left hook. So that is just a dangerous punch combination coming from Garcia. And in all likelihood, he retired Malignaggi for good. It was a great career for Malignaggi. He wasn't the best, but he had the chance to be a champion. He's fought a who's who of fighters, and Garcia, Broner, Hatton, list goes on. Cotto, and he showed great heart in this fight. And in the last one, it looked like it was I thought at first that it was a bad stoppage, but it looked like a good stoppage. And even Malignaggi himself admitted that the ref did the right thing. So we're going to continue to see this guy on Showtime and as a commentator and announcer, and I really look forward to it because he brings a lot of boxing knowledge to the telecast. So that's all I got for you. Hakeem's going to take it over from here.
Alright guys, I'm back. Hope you enjoy Rob's take on the fights. Very interesting tidbits of information. We're gonna rewind, and I'm going to start with the Danny Jacobs and Sergio Mora fight. This fight was for Danny Jacobs, 160 title. He holds one of the title belts in the middleweight division. Sergio Mora was a champ at 154, his first title shot, and since that time, because the other ones fell out, and he ended up having to have replacements, which we talked about on the preview video. So, in the first round, you have Mora being very slick, very unorthodox, like we said he would be, and Danny Jacobs really being very precise with his timing. He was catching Sergio at certain points in between his punches when he was creating those awkward angles and finding the awkward punches to land and still be effective. From the knockout percentage of Sergio Mora, we knew that Danny Jacobs was going to be the harder puncher, and it showed early on in the fight when he dropped him from a right hand after Sergio got a little defensively lazy. What we didn't expect was Sergio dropping Danny immediately after. So we had the makings of a very exciting fight going on here. Both guys had been dropped. Both guys had been hurt. Even though Danny Jacobs was landing the harder punches and looked to be more technically sound, Sergio Mora was in the fight. He was showing his veteran guile, and he was making Danny Jacobs work for the punches that he did land. Unfortunately, in the second round, something awkward happened. Sergio Mora ends up hurting his foot, and they have to stop the fight. Now, because it didn't happen on an accidental foul, and Sergio just hurt himself and wasn't able to continue, that's a TKO for Danny Jacobs. Danny doesn't want to give him a rematch. Sergio wants one. I believe he should earn that rematch. He's not just going to get it based off the strength of what happened in that fight, because of how he was giving Danny a little bit of trouble. They're not going to give that immediate rematch, especially when he can make money fighting Peter Quillen or someone like that. That's the fight that they've really been itching to make. So hopefully they finally make that fight, because they've been talking about it for at least a year now. Let's move on to the main event, where we had Danny Garcia fighting Paulie Malignaggi, and Danny Garcia's official first fight at the 147-pound limit. In this fight, we didn't really see anything too much different from either guy. Danny Garcia was the same guy, landing those harder punches, stalking. He gave a little bit more movement like he did in the Matisse fight, but I think that was because of the movement and angles that Malignaggi was trying to give him. Danny Garcia does have a high boxing IQ, even though a lot of people want to kind of diss him for, his recent performances as of late. It seems as if he's kind of stalled since the Matisse fight, but at the same time, with the exception of Lamont Peterson, he hadn't really fought anybody on that level either. So it seems like he's fighting to the level of competition, which, as you can see, is not a good thing for him, because he's looked lackluster. People have thought he's lost these fights. But with Malignaggi, he went in there and immediately became the boss of the ring. The only thing I didn't like was that every time he jabbed, he dropped his right hand. Now, a stronger fighter, a more brave fighter, will catch him doing that and maybe test that chin, which has so far passed the test. So as he gets up there with those bigger welterweights, the Keith Thurmans, possibly Kell Brooks, Sean Porter, we'll really see what Danny Garcia is made out of. And I think we'll finally get to see the very best of Danny Garcia, or have we already seen the best? And if this is it, it'll be very intriguing to see if this is the best. Is it enough to get past those guys, or does he have another level that he can take it to? That's what we want to see from Danny Garcia. So we've probably seen the last of Paulie Malignaggi. So we got to thank him for a great career and stepping in there with the best of the 140 and 147 pound divisions. Even though he came up short in a lot of those fights, he was still willing to get in there and mix it up, even for a guy who doesn't have a lot of power. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video. We hope you like this video. Make sure you like it. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do so. You can follow us on Facebook, Capital of Combat, Google Plus, same name. You can hit us up on our email, capitalofcombat@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram now, so you can hit us up on Instagram, Capital of Combat. Check out our technical toolbox, our other episodes, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.